Dear friends, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we'll be diving into one of Vulnhub machines, which is wireless one. The link will be put into the video below so that you can download and play on your own. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. So now, let's get started. And in this video, the most important part is to use Python to do some jobs. For example, we can use Python to crack the sorted hash password. And also, I'd like to use Python to conduct subdomain enumeration. So if you want to practice Python, this video will be for you. So now we can get really started. We can head over to Kali Linux. First of all, we need to discover the IP address of the target. The utility I'd like to use, as always, would be net discover. Press enter. And the IP address of the target could be identified as 2.2. Of course, the first and the last one is not the target machine. And so what shall we do next? We need to conduct port and surf scanning with a map. To save time of this video, I've already done that before. So now we can get out its result. Let's scroll up. So as you can see over here, I took the options like scene scan, the version scan, the default script scan, followed by the -p- to do the full range port scan. The last option for all is ON to output the result into this file. Then we can retrieve scanning results whenever. And from the map scanning results, we can tell that the target has 1, 2, 3, 4 open ports in total. Let's take a look at them one by one. The first one is 22, which is running SSH service and also the version information. I don't think we can find any workable vulnerability for this particular version of OpenSSH. And the second one is 80, which is running HTTP service and also the version information, Apache 2. And the next one is 8000, which is running HTTP as well. And this is some kinds of VoIP server. And the last one is 8080, which is running HTTP service, but this is the internal server. So what can we do next? I think we need to enumerate these three web applications one by one. Okay, manually and automatically. Let's fire up the browser to do the manual enumeration first, right? Let's fire up the browser. And so now we can put the IP address of the target into the address bar. Press enter. So we got this Apache 2 default page. We can scroll down. Make sure we do not miss anything important. And we can view page source. Scroll down. Okay, nothing found. So now we can check whether this application has robots file or not. So not found. Next, we can launch the Nicto. Press enter. So Nicto can enumerate this web application from different aspects, such as the version information, request header, and also like allowed HTTP methods. Again, sometimes if the web application allows dangerous methods such as put, and then we can utilize such dangerous method for our purpose to upload web shell to the target, but it's not this case. Okay, we can wait until it finishes. Okay, it's done, so nothing exciting. Next, we can try to use Gobuster to do the directory enumeration. And let me autocomplete this command. Let's press enter. In the meantime, we can access the second port number. Sorry, before we go on, I'd like to note down some major discoveries. So the first one is 22 running SSH service, 2080, which is running HTTP 8000, HTTP 8080, HTTP. Okay, so now we are in the enumeration. Enumeration. Okay, so now let's go back. So now we can access the second port number, 8000. Press enter. So this is VoIP solutions. And about us, they are not hyperlinks, just some kinds of anchor link. Testimonials, contacts, login. We can try to use admin and admin to login, but failed. So how about some kinds of login bypass technique? Admin and login, but failed either. If you want, you can intercept this request and then launch SQL map to test whether this login form is vulnerable to SQL injection. But I'm not going to do that because this is not vulnerable at all. To save time, I'd like to skip this step. So let's go back to the home page. And also we can check its source code. And sometimes source code can leak something sensitive. Okay, until we reach the bottom, nothing here. However, on the top, you can notice this information we can copy and paste over here. So this would be possible username, right? And this would be possible domain name or host name, right? So we need to find out. Let's go back to terminal window. So we didn't find anything, right? And so now also, we can launch the Nicto again to scan the 8000 port number. And in the meantime, we can access this port number, 8080, press enter. So not found. So I don't think this port number right now is our attack surface, okay? Because not found. We cannot get anything. So it's done. Next, we can launch the Gobuster to conduct directory enumeration. Let me autocomplete this command. Press enter. However, we got error. I think this issue can be solved very easily. We can use exclude lens option, and then This time, we can get usual scanning as before and login. So now I think we can access login 8000 login. But we are, oh yes, we have already, walked through this page earlier. So log out, users, admin. So how about admin? Okay, unauthorized page access to this resource is denied. Okay, so next, to save time, I will not wait. We cannot, Gobuster cannot find anything else beyond these directories or files. So I'd like to interrupt. And also we can try to perform directory enumeration with the last port number, 8080. Press enter to see what we can get. Again, it seems Gobuster cannot get anything. All right, I'd like to interrupt Gobuster. Okay, so just now, so far, the only valuable or possible valuable information is this one, username. But what else? So I think this would be the first difficult part with this machine. Actually, we need to, enumerate this web application more closely or more carefully. If you check its source code and scroll down, sometimes we need to check the JavaScript code. Okay, so here some kinds of JavaScript code. If you go back and open the inspect developer tool and go to the console, and we can copy. Maybe we can copy. Yeah, we can copy, and we can use console in the developer tool to run JavaScript code. We can paste over here. So this is dlog equals to this one, very long string. We do not know what it's about. We can hit enter. So undefined, we try to print out this variable. We can use console and log, dlog, press enter. And, we got another piece of code we can copy and paste over here, press enter again. And now we can try to print out the last variable p. Press enter. As you can see, we got something back. Again, this part is, is difficult to support to some extent. Anyway, I show you how to use console of browser developer tool to run JavaScript code. And we can get this string, we can copy and paste over here. So I think this should be the possible, this should be possible username, and this would be possible password, right? So now I think we can try to log in. Let me close up this developer tools, and so we can copy and paste over here and copy, login. Yeah, we are logged in to this application, and here you can notice admin and the very beautiful dashboard. So the pages, arrow, charts, users, and also on the top, right top, you can see, oh, we get some VIP logs. Actually, this is some kinds of short message data we need to use online. So this is the first time I encounter such a thing. When I've done so many CTF like machines, but to be honest, this is the first time I encounter this kind of issue or this kind of a thing. So we need to decode such data. We can copy and we can head over to this online service and we can copy, paste it here. And here, so testing portal has been shifted to the port. Maybe we can copy. So I think this message is telling us the testing portal has been shifted to the port number 880. Just now, we didn't find anything from this port number, right? So also we can try to, maybe I can view page source, and this would be easier for us to copy the data. We can copy and paste over here, decode. So this is the PTU decoder, and so wireless we can copy and we can paste over here because this is the information what we gathered during the penetration. Okay, and here is saying wireless testing portal is open for authenticated users to test our internal network, wireless.com. So I think we need to, add this host name to the host file. We can copy and we can use the command line to do that. Of course, alternatively, you can use Vim or Nano editor to put this mapping between IP address and domain name to this host file. Okay. Now we can try to access this application, wireless.com 8080, because this should be running testing portal, right? So now we can access. However, we just got this message, internal portal v1. Interesting. Okay. So how about we use this domain name to access the 80 port number? Okay. wireless.com. Press enter. Yeah, we got, when we use the IP address to access this application, we just got the default Apache 2 page. However, when we use domain name to access, then we got something different. This is the CMS Made Simple, and also we can get its version. So we can copy, maybe we can copy the CMS Made Simple information over here. So next we need to use some kind of utility to test whether, to check whether this CMS or this particular version is vulnerable. Okay, so we can use Searchsploit and CMS Made Simple. And actually, this one is what we want. Okay, so we can get its copy by using this relative path. But of course, we need to use the M option, and we can use Vim editor to open up And it looks like this code is written in written in Python 3. So we need to do some kinds of modification, or we need to rewrite this code. Okay, this is very easy. We just maybe I'd like to pause the video. When it's done, I will come back. I've already rewritten this code by putting some parentheses for print function. So this would be compatible with Python 3. Also, another piece of code will be not working. This one, crack password, because hash lib module is slightly different in Python 2. Hash lib module in Python 2 is slightly different in Python 3, but it doesn't matter. Later we can create our own code to crack. For now, we just want to get the password, the hashed password and the username and the sort value. Okay, so now we can write and quit. Then we can launch the Python 3 and run it. Or we need to specify the URL, and we can put URL here. And we do not need to put the crack option, because just I mentioned the code or the function in the original exploit will not be suitable for Python 3. So now we can hit enter. Now it's trying to conduct SQL injection. As you can see over here, the sort value for password has been found, and the username, and also the email and the password. Of course, this is encrypted password. We need to crack it, and we can utilize Python to do that. So let me open up the editor of PyCharm, and we can new Python file, crack password. Okay, and I think we can copy. These lines, the function of the password cracking. I think we can copy and paste over here. Of course, we need to do some modification. We need to, we can import hash lib module, and also I'd like to import sys module, and also I'd like to import OS module. And next we can, we can check whether the user or we have already specified the argument. Okay, archive if less than 2, and then we can print out usage. Okay, and with the list sys archive, index of 0 in this list. This is a list, right? Means the program name itself, and then we can exit from this program. Next, we can, of course, with the list is sys archive the second item or element in this list. Also, we can check whether this list exists or not. Pass exists with list. If not, if it doesn't exist, and then we can print out some message. And we can print out like the word list is not there. Okay, and we can exit the program. Okay, so now what we can do next, we can, I'd like to use word list of locq, the default word, the locq word list. And if you use the normal read lines function or method to retrieve line or word from the log queue, because log queue is very big word list and you will encounter error. So I'd like to use try and except construct to capture such exception to make sure our program can execute properly. Okay, so now we can with open word list with read only mode, and we can use while true. Okay, so we can use try and except. So if we, of course, line, if read line, if call this function and has some kinds of error, just will catch such exception. Okay, will do nothing. Okay, oh sorry, not read line. Okay, so now what I can do next, also we need to check whether we have already reached the end of this word list. So line, okay, sorry, and so the line strip 0, and then we can break. All right, also we can print some message on the progress. So we can put try to crack with word and line strip. Okay, maybe I can, here we can use line strip. Okay, next we need to initialize the MD5 class, MD5, and we can use update. We need to pass bytes rather than string. So here, we can, so the sort would be put in front of the password. Okay, so now we can use the sort plus line and encode. Oh, we didn't set the variable. So the sort would be which one? So this would be sort, and also password. We can copy from here. Okay, so now, so encode UTF-8. Next, we can check, of course, if m hex digest equal to password. It means that we have already found, we can use formatted string, found a password. Okay, or we have already decrypted password. And line strip. Okay, so also we can break or jump out of this while loop. Okay, so now we can remove it. We do not need it anymore. So I think that's it. Very important, if you want to use log queue with the list, we cannot use this function or method read lines. You will encounter some problems. Okay, but this one works fine. We can use try and except construct to capture exception. Okay, so now let's run it. I don't know whether we have already coded properly. Now we need to use the word list, log queue word list, log queue word list. So as you can see, very quick found the password passion. So we can copy and so this would be password and also the username, of course. Just now we have already made SQL injection to get its username, right? So let me grab its username. Where is username? Not here. Yes, username. We can copy and paste over here. So the username. Then I think we can log in to CMS Made Simple with these credentials. So how to do? You know, we can admin and so user the password is passion. Yeah, I'm full of passion. Okay, so now we have already got access to the CMS Made Simple panel, and we need to find the location where we can upload, share, or execute command. Okay, actually we can go to extensions and go to user defined tags and user agent. We can run command here, and we can run like a reversal command. You can go to the website of open up this pentest monkey website. We can copy and paste over here, and we can copy. Okay, this is IP address of Linux, and always I will always use the 555 as listening port number. And we can try this one would be stable, more stable. Okay, and we can set up the listener on the Linux, Linux. Okay, we can copy and go back here. Maybe we do not need it, and we can run it and make sure to put semicolon in the end. So now we can run it. Yes, but we didn't get what we want, what we expected. You know, sometimes we need to use the absolute pass. Okay, so bin bash, and run it. And as you can see, we successfully got the shell. Fantastic, right? Next, we need to do some kinds of local enumeration. And maybe we can define the variable, environment variable. So then we can clear the screen when necessary, right? We can go to the home directory, and we find this user. We can copy. So the system user name. Okay, but right now we didn't have any permission to this home directory. Okay, here, and how about the var backups? So how about we upload linpair shell script to do some kinds of automatic enumeration, right? And we can set up a web server on Linux to upload this script to the target. We can, we can use wget linpairs. It's done. We need to make it executable, and then we can run it to see whether we can find some kinds of vectors which can allow us to elevate privilege. Okay? we need to wait. I think it's taking longer time than usual. A lot of output by this NimPairs shell script. The port number 3306. Some local exploits, but in this video I'm not going to take local exploits to elevate privilege. Okay, it's done. But I think this is a bit disappointing. SUID bit. All right. Not so fortunate, right? So actually this should be the second difficulty with this machine. Although we have already successfully got the shell on the target, and we cannot make a lateral movement to the normal user or make privilege escalation. Actually, we need to, enumerate subdomain with this, with wireless.com, and also running the 8080 port number. Okay, so let me show you what I mean. To enumerate subdomain, we can use different utilities, but this is a bit different. If you use the normal way, maybe this cannot work. We can use Gobuster with vhost. This subcommand can do some kinds of subdomain enumeration. And let me autocomplete this command. So this case, we can use the -u option to specify the URL of the target, and then the word list. And here I take this dedicated subdomain word list. Also, you can use the normal word list. This doesn't matter. However, this option is very important. Some guy didn't use this option. I don't know why they can work. I don't know. But for me, I have to use this option. If you hit enter, you can almost immediately get the subdomain. Okay, let me quit from this Gobuster. Also, we can use the wfuzz. This is a very good fuzzing tool, and I'd like to autocomplete this command. So here, I use the option of -h to specify the header, and the header or request header consists of different fields. Here, I just want to make fuzzing against host or subdomain. And also, but this doesn't work. I'd like to show you. I think we must use the 8080. Otherwise, this command will not work. Okay? And also here, we want to enumerate against the 8080 port number. Let me autocomplete this command and press enter. We need to put the option HW 34 words. Okay, as the Gobuster, this wfuzz2 can also scan out this payload, this subdomain. But this is very important. We need to put the 8080 port number in its host field. Otherwise, it will fail possibly. Okay, so I don't know how you can run this command with wfuzz or Gobuster. Let me know what you can do with these two commands. Okay, so just now I have already demonstrated how to use these two kinds of tools or utilities to conduct subdomain enumeration. Next, I'd like to use Python to automate this process. So we can new like a subdomain. Very easy. We can use requests module, and also I'd like to import sys module. And so next, we can, of course, we can copy this part. We can grab password. We can copy. And so here, the word list. And yes, I think we do not need to change anything here. But here, in this case, we need to use different word list, right? And next, we also can, with open, this time I'd like to use a bit smaller word list, so we can use the read lines method safely. Okay, word list with read only mode as f. Okay, so for line in read lines, if, of course, we can line strip, if line length of a line equal 0, then we can, of course, we can continue. We do not need to do anything. If line starts with hash sign, and also we can continue, because this is not or invalid subdomain name. Otherwise, we can, of course, the base URL would be this one, wireless.com 880, but we need to build the headers and host. And so this should be, we can use the format string, right? Oh, sorry, format string and curly braces. So wireless.com. Very important, we need to put the 8080 port number, otherwise this program will not work. Okay, so line. Now we can send the request to the target application. So response if, requests get and URL headers. Not URL, this should be the base URL. The positional argument should be put behind the, keyword argument should be put behind the positional argument. Okay, headers. So now, if length response, length text is larger than 232. So where I get this number? You need to use the, interactive Python to send some request to the application, and then you can get the rule. Okay, but now I'd like to ignore this step. So now we can print the message subdomain found. Also, www subdomain is not what we want. Okay, if www or a line equals to www, and also we can continue. Okay, and then we can align and we can break. Let's save our program to see whether this code can get executed properly. Let's run it. And let me use this word list. We can press enter. Yeah, immediately we get the subdomain name. Okay, fantastic. So now we need to append this subdomain to the host file as well. Press enter. Now we can access this application. Testing, and wireless.com. NT, and I think we can use the same credentials we used earlier. Maybe we can use this one. We can copy and copy here. Login. But it's not working, right? So how about this one? For pen test, we just try and password, login, and here we can run command, for example, like help, enter, and we can, for example, tools. So white shock, air crack, ng DDoS. So how about logs? Enter. Oh, we got a file. We can download this file to Kali Linux. We can move from downloads directory, and we can get out this file. Very long, very big file. And actually, we can create the word list, create our custom word list from this file. So how to do? We can use Q, and let me autocomplete this command. Okay, let's press enter. Now we can use Hydra to crack it. We use the normal L to specify the username and use the uppercase P to specify the password dictionary. Okay. So after about 30 minutes, we finally retrieve the password for this user. Okay, so now we can SSH to the target, Cohila, and the IP address of the target, and yes, and we can copy, paste in here. So now we can clear the screen. We can run, so we can get the user flag without a problem. So now we need to do some more enumeration to elevate privilege. So we can find perm, so nothing here, and run ID. This user belonged to this group, LXD group. So I think we can take advantage of this membership to elevate privilege. And you can use Google, and and then you can almost maybe the first or second link, you can get this website. And then we just follow the instructions. Okay, so I've already clone this repository from the GitHub. Now, let's go back. Because of here, I've already cloned this repository from GitHub. So now we can copy LXD and apply to current working directory. Next, I think web server has already set up. So now we can use wget to upload. We can copy. And so next we can import this image, LX, image, import, alpine, alias. I think we can use the same lim or same alias. It's done. Image list. Yeah, the image has been imported. So now we can run this command to initialize. However, no storage pool found. No problem. We can run LXD init. We just leave all options to default. Okay, it's done. And then we can run this init or initialize command again, and we can copy. No problem. And then we can start this container. And we can get the shell of this container, and we can go to root, and then we can grab the final flag. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. I'd like to see you in the next one.